Well, if you know me, I'm not very impressed with Sergedelmar, as I mockingly call him. Now, I'm sure Serge has suffered, but the question of what kind of suffering and who exactly is he just keeps getting more and more weird. So I will get the shilling out of the way real quick because this is an important debate. Please consider supporting the other channels. Please consider supporting this channel via channel memberships. Please drop a like and a sub if you can. So what has happened? Well, several days ago, Serge resigned from the SPTV Foundation board. And despite what people think, I'm like, all right, I guess he is choosing to not be affiliated. But then it's like, damn it, I knew there had to be a reason. So there's this protester, Enri. Um, he's a very puzzling case. Now, good or bad, DOA has a long history in protest movements. Not a good history necessarily, but he has had a lot of experience, as has William, right? They do have a few years under their belt doing activism. You can disagree with what kind of activists they are, and at this point, William is very troublesome. And I will try to confront this contradiction early because it is a massive dilemma that they don't care about, but it is there. So Serge has been ranting and raving about hotels and children on his channel for a long time, but not as long as people think. See, even that is a fraud. You go to Serge's channel carefully, really never made that a focus, but apparently just a few months ago he decided, children in hotels, children on hotels, children on... Okay, well, let's take his moronic catchphrase seriously. Kids cannot consent. The protest movement in LA for over a year now has had Solomon, an underage kid, among their ranks. Kids can't consent? No children in Scientology? No child could ever consent? Solomon is right there. He's been in a number of protests. He keeps getting into trouble. This is not Scientology. He's broken the law on camera. He literally records himself acting like a damn fool, just scooting all over the place in LA. They're even exploiting and manipulating him. Like, Streets literally drags him to places to give police very questionable statements about alleged crimes. So the whole thing is a complete fraud, a contradiction, a complete mess. So Enri is trying to step in and rectify the situation. Now, a lot of what he says in his post are very persuasive and very true. And he is dealing with a dirty, dark secret that Aaron and the SPTV Foundation people have tried to basically bury. Namely, that they, quote, support the protesters, but really they don't. And if the protesters start asking difficult questions about him, Jenna, Serge, where is the money going? What are their motives? What is their story? What exactly are they up to? There is this very cultish atmosphere, and it has become very violent and very toxic. Like, one of the reasons I don't give out much of my information is because, yeah, listen, it is a thing. I've already been threatened physically several times. A lot of what he's saying is true. If you don't toe the party line, and we all know what the party line is, you agree with Aaron, you agree with Serge, you agree with Jenna, you just like and subscribe. You say, oh my God, I love you, Serge. Oh my God, Aaron, you saved. Oh my God, Jenna. Oh. You have to just do that 24/7. If you start to push back and ask questions, say, wait a minute, exactly. Wait, okay, fine, Serge, you suffered. Can you provide evidence of this? And if you suffered so greatly, why did you stay in Scientology for nearly 15 years after you were an adult? He was a full-grown adult. He could literally just take his legs, walk away. Now, Serge is from Mexico, so he would have been deported. According to you, deportation would have been better. You're saying that your time was like a child slave. What child slave stays at a plantation where he's being enslaved for over a decade? It makes no sense. Why did you associate with rich celebrity Scientologists like Emily Armstrong? Yes, Emily went to one of Serge's shows in LA. Danny Masterson went to one of his shows. He's pictured with Jordan Masterson. And then he leaves the church? Well, you didn't seem like you were being harmed. You were smiling in all these pictures. Not all whistleblowers will be pure. They're not all going to be good people. Let's be realistic here. Being realistic, what is the issue? If Aaron is being corrupt, Serge is being corrupt, well, okay, it is what it is. Just work through it. But no, there's just this conspiracy of silence. And any attempt to talk about these issues, there is retaliation. There are threats. there is clearly a pattern of behavior here that the mission allegedly is to take down Miscavige and Scientology, but it is also to promote and elevate this small group, Natalie, Serge, Aaron, Jenna, Nora, and you go through the list. We're there, allegedly, to make them into gods, celebrities, and we're there to bow and worship them. And if you don't do that, you're going to get tagged the enemy. Because, again, we do. We have this weird, bizarre cult that has emerged with Aaron and his friends. And then people who were never in Scientology, but they get magical victim status and celebrity status, like the Maho, Marilyn Honig. She doesn't even really talk about her victimization in her own cult. She's too busy, basically just, there's no nice way of putting it. They bend over, she takes out her tongue, and, she's going to put her in a certain place that pleases them. This is not playing around. This is not even being graphic. This is not being insulting. That just happens all the time. These videos are pointless. Click on the Maho video. It's like, I love Serge. I love Aaron's. I love Natalie. It's like over and over and over again. It's just the same thing. Or the other genre of the videos, kids can't consent. Oh, Serge, you're so brave. And it's like, next video, I love you, Aaron. Kids can't consent. You go after Emily Armstrong. You destroy her. She's rich and evil and disgusting. It's just the same diet of propaganda over and over and over again. It has almost no variation. I'm not here just to praise Enri, because a lot of what he's saying is true, but a lot of what he's saying is questionable. So he's questioning the cult atmosphere that is going on with Aaron, Serge, Jenna, but he's not even saying that they are, quote, deliberately manipulating people. He's just saying they're taking advantage of people. Maybe they don't know any better. Maybe they've been too traumatized. I think that's just a little silly. Like, Jenna is what now? 40 years old. She's not a child anymore. She's been out of the cult now for what? Nearly 2 decades? 2 decades. In 20 years, she can't handle the responsibility of being, quote, in the normal world? Does she have to create a new cult? Can she not live a cult life? And if that is the case, be honest about it, right? I thought the fight was Scientology is an evil fascist cult. It is bad. Now, that's the organization, right? So the main goal should be targeting the top leadership. That's not what Aaron, Jenna, or Serge do. They mainly go after just ordinary Scientologists. And you got to be honest here. It's like, you may not like it, I may not like it, but really, if a random guy or girl has a shrine to L. Ron Hubbard and is getting off on Tom Cruise, who the hell cares? Why is that important? The real goal should be only or mainly target the top leadership for real crimes, verifiable crimes, and as far as taking down the organization, that should be the key goal, because everything else is just moronic rhetoric. Does not matter. You have to tell the brutal truth. Disconnection, you may not believe this, is not illegal. Bringing up disconnection to a federal court case would be pointless. They'd say that is not illegal. Many of these things that they're, oh God, I saw a child at a Scientology event. That is not illegal. If you try to call the FBI on these things, nothing will happen. That's not a conspiracy. You're just being stupid. But again, you just do have these thousands and thousands of fanatics on the Aaron and Serge side and Jenna side. They think every little pronouncement, oh my God, you destroyed Scientology, you talked about Chester and Emily's Armstrong. Well, okay, put that to the test, right? Aaron has. He's insulted and criticized Emily Armstrong. I've criticized Emily Armstrong. The difference is I try to use these things called facts, right? But apparently even facts don't matter in this movement, or at least the Aaron movement anymore. Okay, that's the positive side of Enri's critique. However, he is leaving some things out, right? DOA has a very bad record. William has a very bad record. So he is basically trying to pull a fast one. So he's saying the Scientology cult, bad. The Aaron cult, bad. But maybe the Aaron cult just came about by accident. Right. Aaron accidentally created the SPTV Foundation. Aaron accidentally went to LA. Aaron accidentally had a sex affair. Aaron accidentally was being violent and stalking an ex-girlfriend. Accidentally, Aaron was doing all these things. Accidentally. Okay, maybe. That's a theory. I don't believe it, though. But anyway, so what is his solution? Oh, let's create a new cult. What we should really do is be helping the local radical activists. This is not Jerry Armstrong. This is not Jesse. This isn't even Mike Rinder. Enri just got here. It's like, oh, me and Streets LA and DOA will save everyone's. Okay, that's replacing one cult myth that Aaron and Serge and Jenna are gods and apparently these Greek heroes, these romantic cinematic heroes who came out of nowhere and are saving us from everything. Okay, that's a bunch of silliness. And here's the new myth: William, DOA, and now Enri. We will save people with our local radical activisms. And what's their local radical activisms? It's like the same thing, but just a different flavor. So Serge has Kids Can't Consent and screams about hotels and Emily Armstrong and Danny Masterson, his former friends and allies. So he has no credibility. He's just being silly and stupid. But, for whatever it is, it's a performance. Enri's new flavor is Kids Can't Consent. Oh, we got that again. Yep, but this time we search for the children, and I am not joking. Ninja Turtle tunnels underneath the blue building in LA. That is not me mocking it. That was literally a thing they did. They did it for months. Oh, DOA, you have discovered the tunnels and the children. We will keep searching. We will go down and find the Ninja Turtles and liberate the children's. That is real. That really happened for months and months. And I still think they're searching those tunnels. So it's like, okay, a lot of points. You have pointed out a structural problem with the SPTV Foundation cult. There's no nice way of putting it. It is a cult. If you're systemically abusing people who just ask questions, that's a cult. That has a word. That has a meaning. However, it seems like, the solution to the Aaron and Scientology cult, let's make a new cult. But this one will be more based around the protesters and their personalities, like Mindy, Enri, William, and DOA. That'll be so much better. That is a big question mark. That is a big question mark. That is, in fact, a difficult paradox. Can you fight a cult with anti-cult methods, or do you need a cult to fight a cult? That is a difficult question. That is a serious question. It is the lesser evil argument, right? Even if DOA is evil, he is better than David Miscavige. And if he can do an effective job of destroying Scientology, and Aaron cannot, right? Because Aaron, as he likes to, I've been here 7 and 8 years, boy. Right, Scientology has not gone away. That's actually refuting your argument. So maybe DOA and his methods will do it. I am skeptical. I'm very skeptical of embracing DOA. However, being purely ruthless and Machiavellian, maybe you do need a cult to destroy a cult. I think that's very dangerous territory. But if that is a territory, be honest about it. So I think Enri's solution, which is, let's want transparency and see where the money goes. What he's really saying is that Aaron and Serge and Jenna should be honest about their bank accounts. I agree. They should be honest about their bank accounts. They are frankly raising money on false pretenses. It is fraud. By any definition, this is a fraud, this is a cult, and it's a very authoritarian, abusive one. However, I'm not so sure that William DOA have a better cult coming our way. It seems like it will be very similar, but you got to give them points. DOA has stood with victims behind the scenes who have been abused by the Aaron cult. He has done some good things. You got to acknowledge that. However, I don't know if the Enri solution is going to save us, but at least he laid out some problems we should be discussing. Give him that much.